This is the Padua Podcast Network.
The fact is, some pretty reliable sources of medical information say that dementia is preventable. Running Fever, episode 224, Dementia Part 1, Introduction to the Dementia series. Well, hello, I'm Michael Davis. This is a podcast about fitness, health, or fitness, diet, and medicine. My goal is to live a long, happy, healthy, active life right up to the very end. And I want that for you, and that's why we're here together on another episode. We've had a number of episodes about COVID-19 and all the things that affects here in 2020. But I want to move on to something different now. Morning.
Good morning.
I've been wanting to do this for a long time, actually. I'm really excited to get started on this. This episode is the beginning of a major series. I planned 17 episodes in the series. So this will take us a few weeks into 2021, actually. You're probably hearing this in, I'm going to say October, even though I'm recording it in August. The subject of this series is dementia. I think it's important. It affects 50 million people worldwide. But this wouldn't necessarily convince me to spend so much time on the disease if there's nothing I could do except tell you to go to your doctor. The fact is, some pretty reliable sources of medical information say that dementia is preventable. It's a preventable disease. And since we want to be healthy as long as possible here on Running Fever, we definitely want to do whatever we can to prevent dementia. And I think that'll become more clear as we move on in the series. But just to give you kind of a taste of what's to come. Last year at my physical with Dr. Bychak, I asked him about prevention of dementia, because even then I was already thinking about it, just didn't put together a plan until now. And he gave me a few tips. So I'm going to give you a little of that and what he had to say about it. And then we'll go through the outline of the series and what you've got ahead. So Dr. Bychak says one thing that the brain needs is fat. So you should make sure your body fat is not too low. I've never had a problem with this personally, kind of had the opposite problem, but I know some people do have that problem. And I know sometimes, especially in older people, it is difficult to sort of maintain your body weight. So the classic recommendation is 16% as a minimum for men, and about 20% as a minimum body fat for women. He also said do things that cross-train your brain. Do things that are not natural. This builds new neural connections. For example, I already know how to walk on this trail counterclockwise from the parking lot. Done it many, many times. Today I'm walking counterclockwise. So, whatever things I have to do differently to perceive that and just do all the things that my body needs to do differently, that's building new neural connections. Whereas if I'd just gone the usual way, I would have just gone down the old pathways. So do new things that are not natural. This can be childlike things, not just reading about a different topic that's foreign to you, although I think that's a good idea too, for other reasons. But an example would be if you're a technical computer person, try something artistic like painting. Walk backwards with care, of course. I'm thinking maybe I should get some of those glasses with mirrors in them so you can see behind you. So walk backwards. If you're right-handed, use your left hand, and vice versa. Now, I would normally not think of taking dance lessons myself, but that's a good reason, after hearing this, for me to go do that, because that's going to build new neural pathways in the brain. More pathways, the better. Something starts cutting off those pathways. You got some extra ones there. So, it's just so much easier. You know this, right? If you go to the grocery store and you always park in the same parking spot, even if you have good reasons to do so, you don't have to think about it. One of the things we've talked about on here, why habits are so powerful. You do it a few times, you don't even have to think about it. So your brain doesn't work and it gets out of shape just like anything else. So those are just a couple of tips I got from Dr. Bychak. Get you started on this journey. And here's an idea of the other things we're going to talk about in this series. So in part 2, we're going to talk about what is dementia. We're going to get deeper into the definition of it and talk about risk factors. In part 3, we're going to outline the different types of dementia that there are. It's not just Alzheimer's, there's several different kinds. And then over the next few episodes, we're going to go into detail in each different type of dementia so that you'll know what you need to do to combat those. And then finally, well, not finally, but we're going to get into how to prevent dementia. Start that in part 9. And in 10 and 11, we're going to talk about how the brain works with regard to memory and how it responds to aging. Morning. So, we're going to talk some of these prevention methods, a couple of which we've already discussed briefly. In part 12, staying mentally active. Part 13, improving memory. Part 14, a diet for the mind. Diet department episode. 15, vitamins for the brain. 16, exercising, fitness department for mental health. 17, sleep and dementia. It's going to be really interesting, even though I've talked about sleep a lot. Some new concepts in here, like preparing for sleep all day. So I'm really looking forward to this. As always, every topic I present on Running a Fever is a learning experience for me, not just a teaching experience. And this is something I'm very interested in, and I hope you are too. So that's it for today. Next in the series, what is dementia? So thank you for being here. As always, if you have the fever, then keep it. If you don't have the fever, go out and catch it. Everybody go and spread Running a Fever to your friends. And I will talk to you next time on Running a Fever.